Welcome, Avenger. Your presence honors me.
Hey everybody, Darmonkey here, back with another Diablo II Resurrected video. Today we're going to take a look at Horadric Cube recipes. We're going to focus on some lesser known recipes, as well as some hints and tricks, and some extra details about some of the commonly used recipes. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers, and if you find this video valuable, please like and subscribe so you can get notified about my future videos. So we're going to cover a lot of recipes. I've added timestamps in the description for you to jump ahead to the recipes that are most important to you. Alright, let's take a look. So the first recipe we're going to start with is a recycling recipe. You can take any 3 magic rings or amulets and you can put them in the cube and you'll randomly roll another piece of magic jewelry. When you re-roll rings, you'll turn them into an amulet. When you re-roll amulets, you'll turn them into rings. And the way that this works is the item level of the jewelry that you create is going to be 75% of your character level. So if you're level 80 and above, you'll be able to roll amulets that are item level 60 or higher. What that means is that they can roll with +3 to a skill tree, as well as some other affixes. So we've re-rolled some rings, we can throw in some amulets here. Again, 3 blue amulets, re-roll them, and they will be recycled into a blue ring. Usually you're going to get junk, but occasionally you get something pretty awesome. Alright, next recipe we're going to take a look at. This is a commonly known recipe, and these are socketing recipes. There are different components that go into these recipes depending on whether you're socketing armor, or weapons, or helms. But we're going to look first at a shield. So what I've got here is I've actually got a superior shield. Now, what's special about these recipes is you can only socket normal items. So superior, we're going to get here. This recipe doesn't work. We cannot add sockets to a superior item. What you can do is you could use your Larzik quest to add sockets to this superior monarch. So here we just have a white, regular, normal monarch. This we can add sockets to. And the way that this recipe works is each item can have a maximum number of sockets. Now this monarch here, this can have a maximum of 4 sockets. Now when you use this recipe, what happens is it'll randomly select a number between 1 and 6. And that will be the number of sockets that you get, up to the maximum number of sockets. So in this case, our max sockets is 4. So if the roll is 4 or 5 or 6, you'll get the maximum sockets of 4. So what that means is, in this case, we've got a 50% chance of rolling 4 sockets. 1 in 6 chance of rolling 1 socket, 1 in 6 chance of rolling 2 sockets, and 3 sockets. But then rolling 4 sockets, the max, is 50%, 3 in 6. So you want to keep that in mind, because you can always use a Larzik quest to get the maximum number of sockets in an item. And while it's low chance to get the exact number that you're looking for if it's not the maximum number of sockets, this is important if you're adding sockets to something where you're looking for a very specific number. Now keep in mind that this recipe is the only way to add sockets to a white item where you might not get the maximum number of sockets. So if you've got that sweet ethereal thresher and you're looking for 4 sockets, the only way that you can do it is using this recipe and rolling the dice. Okay. Let's add some sockets to this monarch. And I got 1 socket. That sucked. I was looking for 4, but that's all part of it. You're taking a chance at getting the right number of sockets. You always do have that Larzik quest available to you to get the maximum number of sockets. You generally are going to want to save that for either a really high value base item, or you would want to use it on unique items where you can automatically add 1 socket. Next, let's take a look at emptying sockets. So a common example would be where you want to re-roll a rune word. Usually a rune word that has cheaper runes, or if you have a really valuable base that you want to re-roll to get a better result. In this case, I've got this Spirit Monarch that only has 28% faster cast rate, and we're trying to shoot for that max 35% faster cast rate. What you do is you throw the item into your cube, you use a Hell rune and a Scroll of Town Portal. And what this will do is it'll remove all the runes or jewels or gems that are in the sockets. Keep in mind that this does destroy everything that were in the sockets. All right, so now here I'm left with an empty 4-socket Monarch. It gives me the opportunity to come in here and make my Spirit again and see what I get. So Tal, Thul, Ort, Am, and that's an improvement. 33% faster cast rate, still got a decent mana roll. So that's better. It's not quite 35, it's not perfect, but it's a great recipe to give you that opportunity without having to go find another 4 open socket Monarch. Next, we're going to take a look at upgrading unique items. So you have the opportunity to upgrade normal unique items to their exceptional version or their elite version. There's a lot of different recipes out there depending on the type of item and the level of the item. But one of the best items to upgrade that I want to highlight here is the gold wrap belt. So what you do is you grab your gold wrap belt, you grab the appropriate items to add to the cube based on the type of item. And here now this is a normal belt. What that means is it only has 3 rows for potions. And what you can do here is by upgrading it, you're going to end up getting 4 more potions, and that just makes this a much more valuable item. So if we upgrade that, we go from plus 8 slots to plus 12 slots, and everybody loves more potions. All right, after that, repair. You can repair and recharge items. Now, there's different recipes depending on the type of item and depending on whether you want to just repair it or repair and recharge it. So in this case, we've got an item that has some charges on it. In this case, we got level 23 enchant on this demon limb. And instead of going to a vendor and repairing, and in some cases paying hundreds of thousands of gold to repair some items, you can either use a repair recipe or a repair and recharge recipe to save a ton of gold. Usually these are going to be some cheaper recipes with some low runes, some orts or things like that, or rals, which are going to provide a really good value. So in this case, I'm going to go from 9 of 20 charges. I'm going to use an Ort and any chip gem, and it will both repair, which it already was, and fully recharge this item. So we've got our 20 charges for enchant. And the next recipe I want to cover is taking a low quality item and converting it to a normal quality. So here I've got a low quality Archon plate. This thing's a piece of junk, but with a couple super cheap items, I can convert this to a normal quality Archon plate. So all it takes is an L rune and any chip gem. We'll transmute this and we get a normal quality Archon plate. So this is something that we can actually use. And finally, a pretty well-known recipe, but I do want to highlight it, and that is the magic item reroll. And this is most commonly done with charms. So a lot of times what you're going to do is you're going to find charms, usually grand charms from hell, and you can re-roll them with a shot at getting skillers or +1 to skills. The most valuable charms to re-roll are going to be ones that come from either Baal or Neelithuk or Diablo, as these are the only 3 charms that can re-roll with the highest level plus to life. So the most valuable skill charms are usually going to be plus to skills and plus 45 to life. Now, I wouldn't get too caught up on only re-rolling charms from Baal or Diablo or Neelithuk. If you get anything that's going to be in a higher level in hell, you're still going to be able to re-roll skillers, and you can get other very valuable affixes, just not quite the highest level plus to life. So in this case, we've got a junk grand charm, we re-roll it, and we're rewarded with another junk charm. But the whole point here is you use a lot of perfect gems and you just keep re-rolling until you get something that's useful. And that's all the recipes I'm going to cover today. There are a lot of other ones that are out there. There's a ton of crafting recipes that I didn't cover at all. But if you have another favorite recipe that wasn't covered today, please let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful or if you learned something new, please like and subscribe so you can get notified to my future videos. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in hell.
Farewell.